He comes from a lineage of great sages, yogis, and saints from India. He began his spiritual journey at the age of 7 and was fully realized by the age of 14. During this time, he delved into different practices and acquired mastery over Tantra, Mantra, Yantra, Aghori practices, and Yaksha sadhana. He comes from a lineage of great sages. He was a Sita and many masters, saints, yogis, and sages and saints from India. He began his spiritual and was fully realized by the age of 14. During this time, he delved into different practices and acquired mastery over Tantra, Mantra, Yantra, Aghori practices, and Yaksha sadhana. He was a Siddha and many masters, saints, and sages used to visit him in solitude to gain wisdom and guidance from him since the tender age. Although he has been helping humanity since childhood, he never disclosed this part of him to the world, and only the advanced yogis and masters were aware of his divine presence. Only in the last 2 years he chose few people from the world and started guiding them in their spiritual paths, and those who have been closely associated with him have witnessed many miracles in his presence. Despite being a family person, he is a yogi and intends to help people entangled in this world achieve Jivan Mukti, liberation while being alive. He is truly in the world but not of the world, and if you really want to understand him, look him beyond his physical appearance and just sit with him and you will never be the same again. In his presence you will transcend your body and mind and experience the state of Sat, absolute truth, Chit, pure consciousness, Ananda, eternal bliss. Let us fold our hands in front of his divinity and with a heart filled with gratitude and love welcome our spiritual guru, the realized soul, and our enlightened master, Guru Minash Mishra.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा तमगमय सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अहं ब्रह्मास्मि। Good morning, everyone. Good evening to the people from the other side of the world. Swagat hai sabhi ka. This day we begin the talk of someone whom we all know as Sita. And although I'm going to walk through a variety of things in it, yet I believe like the true essence of Sita can only be understood if you are Ram or you are Sita. And all others, it's a story. But how do you become Ram or Sita? The more and more you go through them, understand their life. It's just like this. When you meet someone and you meet them for the first time and they are very impressive, slowly, somehow, you start taking their words, catching up their words. speaking like them. Have you noticed that? जब भी आप किसी से मिलते हो और अचानक बात करने लगते हो, उनके कोई शब्द आपके शब्द बन जाते हैं, उनकी कोई शैली आपकी शैली बन जाती है। बिल्कुल उसी तरीके से अगर एक मनुष्य के साथ मिलके अगर आप उनकी शैली, उनकी बोली, उनकी कथाएं, आपकी कथाएं, बोली और शैली बन जाती हैं, तो जब इनकी कथाएं, गाथाएं और शैलियां आप सुनोगे, तो दैट शुड ऑल्सो बिकम अ पार्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ. How do you actually change your life? Simplest way is this way. You went to school, you studied letters, alphabets, words, sentences, read books, you became educated. Now you don't have to even bother what's written anywhere. You just look and you read it without any effort. So usi tarike se, like through all this satsang, what we are trying to do is like exactly create that kind of system where you become so aware of all this divine language that even in the simplest of the way or in the toughest of the way, आप एक वृक्ष लता को देखो या धूल मिट्टी को, तो सब में आपको दिव्यता नजर आएगी. Because that's how you get connected to the entire source of it. And that's where we begin the talk of Sita. So close your eyes for a moment and let me just give a line or a mantra that the rishis used to use to define who Sita is. They start with Bhurvubhaswaha Saptadvipa Vasumati Trayaloka Antarikshram Sarve Vayi Nivasanti Amodaha Pramodaha Vimodaha Sammodaha Sarvasatva Sandhitsya Anjaneyaya Brahma Vidya Pradatri Dhatritva Sarve Vayam Pranamamahe Pranamamahe Pranamamahe. What this simply means is the seers and the sages used to speak in this way that in this realm of the earth, you are the celestial space. And in the heavenly realms, you are the one who is across all three, the earth, the celestial space, and the heaven. And also in the 7 continents of the earth. And you are truly in the 3 worlds, the heaven, the mortal world, and the nether world. All these including the space, including the sky, you reside within everything, and everything resides within you. You embody joy, delight, exhilaration, and bliss. You are the ultimate embodiment of Dhatri, the Vistoyer, of Brahma Vidya to Lord Hanuman, and you are the sustainer of all realms. O Sri Sita, we bow down to you, we bow down to you, we bow down to you repeatedly. But this is how the very basic way they used to tell her, because when they speak of Sita as the one who is there in all lokas, now if you keep on listening to this, whether you listen to Tripur Bhairavi, whether you listen to Bhuvaneshwari, whether you look at the mantra of Sita itself, everyone speaks that they are the ultimate power, they are the ultimate Shakti that has been running through the veins of the trees and life, and in every stem, in every flower. That's the power that is actually running through as life in all of us. And now today I'm going to talk about Sita, not like the one that you have heard in Ramayana or just in Ramayana, and not the Sita that you saw in the TV shows, and neither the Sita that you might have studied in your schools as well. So I'm going to portray Sita as you, as a person who is alive, as a person who is not coming from itihasa. That's what they call it. Sita comes from itihasa. Itihasa means this is how it happened. But rather than just taking it from itihasa or history, I would like to take it as someone who is so profound that we can learn so many things from her, even today, even now. And then we will see like how she is related to you and how you are related to her. So would that be good enough? Because I know you might have heard about Sita, you have read about Sita so many times through Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas, and all those things, wherever she has been mentioned in so many beautiful ways. But I thought, let me take a very simplified way, a simplified way that the world should experience Sita. So would that be good? And if you did like this, then what we will do is we will change our gears and we will restart Sita as mentioned in the Puranas. But let's begin the talk of Sita. As I said, let me unveil and let me unwrap to you the unspeakable story of Sita. And as I said, it is not the one you in your school books, on your television screens, but from the cosmic force that walked the earth as a princess. There are many stories that go around, and the most prominent are that we all know that Sita was found during plowing of the earth. जब जनक राजा धरती का सींच रहे थे तो उसमें से सीता का प्रकट हुआ, प्रागट्य हुआ. So that's one story that we all know. We all know that, right? Then there is another story where it is mentioned that Sita is daughter of Ravana. Now, if Sita is daughter of Ravana, then why did Sita went there? Like how she was found under the earth. So that is another story that goes on. Then there is another story wherein there was a cosmic fire that distributed itself into the Panchamahabhutas. Those Panchamahabhutas were captured by Ravana. Ravana could not hold it, and she asked Mandodari to keep it. Mandodari was not able to hold it, so they put that into a golden box, and from that golden box, a girl appeared, and that girl became Sita later. So there are so many varieties of stories. हमारे भारत में 200 तरीके के रामायण ही हैं. More than that, rather. So, and everything comes with a baseline of story, and every story is so mesmerizing that if you listen to that, you will be stunned. So, I'll be talking about one story that generally people don't speak of, and I will speak of how Ravana and how Sita was the daughter of Ravana. एक पुरातन कहानी के जरिए, कथा के जरिए हम ये समझेंगे कि रावण कैसे सीता का पिता होता है. So, and that's where, like I said, no, it is not going to be the way you have read, you have seen in the TV. But ये सारे चीजें, these are all write-ups are available. It's nothing that something is being created. Okay. So शुरू करते हैं कथा सीता की. We all know like Sita was the daughter of Janaka. But for me, Sita was not merely Janaka's daughter, nor just Ram's wife. She was, in a way, the Bhudevi, the goddess of earth, the consort of Vishnu. And in his divine aspects, she took this form. As per the most common understanding, she was never born from a womb, but from the furrow of the earth. She is not born of karma, but of cosmic will. She is the Shakti of Vishnu, descending when dharma needs upliftment. But when you look at Sita, we all look at like a very, very timid, very simple female, and who was pushed into exile not once but twice. She has to go through the fire, and she has to be, despite taking birth as a princess, she has to go through so much of pain and turmoil in her life. Now, that reminds me of many of us, that how we took birth, how the parents used to take care of us, and how life changed for all of us. We also go through that fire. We also go through that exile. We also go through that pain that Sita might have gone through. Might be the proportion of it might be different, but we do go through that. But I don't want you to go to just think on this and go deep into that in sorrow. No, Sita was not just sorrow. Sita was absolutely ecstatic. Why? The reason could be very simple. There was a beautiful saying. I heard it somewhere some time ago. It was said that अगर गर्मी के मौसम में किसी को सर्दी लगे तो उसका कारण क्या है? If somebody feels shivering in summer, what could be the reason? The reason could be one simple thing, fever. अगर किसी को बुखार है तो उसको समर में भी shivering होगा. So when we shiver in these worldly things, it is because we have not understood our true selves. This same world can be the place where Ram has taken birth, where Krishna has taken birth, where Radha has walked, and even we are walking here, and yet shivering out of that fear of fever. वो भी तो यहाँ चले हैं ना, और हम भी वहीं चल रहे हैं, but out of the fever of fear. But Sita, Radha, Krishna, and all the names that you could take, they were all here. It looked like they were in pain, but were they really? We will understand it deeper and we will walk further in that, and that's how we will come to realize so many things about Sita. We thought like Sita descended along with Ram to be saved, but she actually descended to save all of us. Sita was kind of like a silence before the storm. And it is said like, before Ram, there is Sita. इसीलिए हम क्या कहते हैं? सीताराम, सीताराम, सीताराम. Before there was Dharma, there was Sita. Because she did not arrive as a princess. She emerged as a vibration of the earth itself. The Valmiki Ramayana, जो हम सब का प्यारा है. And in the Balkand, it narrates that while plowing a field for Yagna, King Janaka discovered her in a furrow. The Anand Ramayana adds that flowers bloomed around her body, untouched by the mud. She was not of a mortal birth, no karmic chain, only light of divinity and embedded into the matter of this world. Sita is not just discovered, Sita is revealed. Like a hidden mantra whispered only to the deserving, a body born of earth, a soul born of eternity. That's Sita. But now, this is the story that we all know. Now, let me narrate you the story how Sita is considered in one way the daughter of Ravana. So, कथा कुछ ऐसी है कि एक पौराणिक कथा आती है और इस पौराणिक कथा के माध्यम से ये कहा जाता है कि जो सीता है उनके जन्म से जुड़ी एक प्रचलित कथा और है जिसके अनुसार कहा जाता है कि माता सीता लंकापति रावण और मंदोदरी की पुत्री थी. इस कथा के अनुसार लाइक इन दिस वे द नरेशन ऑफ द स्टोरी गोज कि इस कथा के अनुसार सीता जी वेदवती के नाम की एक स्त्री का पूर्ण जन्म था. In her earlier life, she was known as, and she was like the Param Bhakt of Vishnu, obviously, and she was known as Vedvati. वेदवती विष्णु जी की परम भक्त थी और वो उन्हें पति के रूप में प्राप्त करना चाहती थी और इसलिए भगवान विष्णु को प्रसन्न करने के लिए वेदवती कठोर से कठोर तपस्या की. कहा जाता है कि it such happened that one fine day when Vedvati was sitting in her penance, न ध्यान में और अपने तपस्या में लीन थे, तभी रावण वहां से जा रहा था और जहां वेदवती तपस्या कर रही और वेदवती की सुंदरता को देखकर रावण उस पर मोहित हो जाता है. रावण ने वेदवती को अपने साथ चलने का प्रस्ताव दिया, लेकिन वेदवती ने साथ जाने से इनकार कर दिया. वेदवती के मना करने पर रावण को अत्यंत क्रोध आ जाता है और उसने वेदवती के साथ दुर्व्यवहार करना चाहा और रावण के स्पर्श मात्र से करते ही वेदवती ने अपने आप को भस्म कर लिया और रावण को श्राप दिया कि वो रावण की पुत्री के रूप में जन्म लेगी और उसकी मृत्यु का कारण बनेगी. ऐसे चलते हुए कुछ समय बीतता है और कुछ समय बाद मंदोदरी को एक पुत्री या कन्या को जन्म देती है, लेकिन वेदवती का श्राप से भयभीत होकर रावण ने जन्म लेते ही उस कन्या को सागर में फेंकवा दिया, जिसके बाद सागर की जो देवी वरुणी ने उस कन्या को धरती की देवी पृथ्वी को सौंप दिया और पृथ्वी ने उस कन्या को राजा जनक और माता सुनैना को सौंप दिया, जिसके बाद राजा जनक ने सीता का पालन पोषण किया और उसका विवाह श्री राम के साथ होता है. फिर वनवास के दौरान रावण ने सीता का अपहरण किया, जिसके कारण श्री राम रावण का वध करते हैं और इस तरह से सीता रावण के वध का कारण बनी. So this is one way how Ved is the previous incarnation of Sita. Very very rarely talked about the stories. बहुत कम बातें की जाती है, लेकिन ऐसी कथाएं भी हैं. और आप जानते होंगे कि हर क्षेत्र में अलग अलग कथाएं चलती. Every person has his own story, every person has his own way, and those have been distributed in so many different ways in our culture. Now the question appears, like, which one is true? Again, the same thing comes back. When we ask what is true, the question should not be asked to the thing that is outside, what is true, but rather knowing who you truly are, and that will only bring the truth out. Up until then, everything else is just a story. How do you even know? Because there are claims. ये कहा जाता है कि जब पहली बार रामायण लिखी गई, उसके अंदर लक्ष्मण रेखा का कोई वर्णन ही नहीं था, उसे बाद में जोड़ा गया. So what is true and what is false is something that is yet to be decided. But whether the truth is there outside or not, the truth should appear within you. That's the entire process. That's the entire thing that we work on. वैसी तरीके से the Taittiriya or Aranyaka describes Bhudevi as Jagadhatri, or the bearer of the world. In this light, Sita isn't just Earth's daughter, she is Earth's very consciousness itself. Janaka named her Sita because she came from the Sita, or the plowing line. Symbolically, this marks her as the one who breaks through the layers by layers. Not just soil, but the illusions, the Maya of existence itself is cut down by her. Then again, as per the Vishnu Puran, she is the incarnation of Lakshmi, where Ram is Vishnu, Sita is Lakshmi, and they both are inseparable, timeless, and unthinkable as well. And that's why in that there is a line that is mentioned. You can close your eyes and listen to this. It mentions her as a mantra. Ati Janma Bhuta Bhudevi Lakshmi Rupa Ramayani Priyata Bhavatu Yasri Sita Namami. And so they are talking about the same thing, that she is the Adi, Janma Bhuta Bhudevi. She is the eternal Bhudevi, and also the Swarupa of Lakshmi and Sita, Ramayan. Priyata means the one, the beloved of Rama. And then they bow down that Sita Namami. Now let's talk about, because these stories are something that everybody knows. But let me now talk about the powers of Sita that were hidden, the misunderstood Sita, and the misplaced Sita. Sita was not just gentle, she was fierce in her silence, burning in her compassion. Her powers included, कितने लोगों ने ये सुना होगा कि सीता के क्या शक्तियां हैं? So let me narrate those for you. Agni Siddhi. She could command fire. The fire of her chastity and truth was so pure that even Agni Dev bowed to her. Her walk through fire was not a test. It was her purifying the element of Agni itself. Bhutantra. Being the daughter of earth, she knew the tantric secrets of grounding of Prithvi Tattva. She held the power to shift energies of kingdoms which is why Lanka trembled in her presence. Maya Sita. In esoteric Tantra, it is said the real Sita never entered Lanka. Agnidev took the real Sita and gave Ravana a shadow, an illusion, Maya Sita. That which cannot be touched, cannot be tainted. Ravana never even touched the real Sita. And her role in Ramayana. Sita was not just a passive actor in or participant in Ramayana. She was the axis on which the Ramayana was turning. Not a wife, but Sakti itself. Rama was the Maryada Purushottam, the upholder of all boundaries. Sita was Aparashakti, the limitless energy that flows even when bounded. And according to Devi Bhagavata Purana, Sita is described as Mahalakshmi incarnate, who takes form to balance the cosmic dharma. She did not accompany Ram as a passive partner. She was the force through which Ram's dharma unfolded. In every battlefield, in every forest exile, her Shakti powered his actions. And as said in the Kamba Ramayana, without Sita, Ram is the sun without warmth, the sea without depth. And when we look at Sita as the most soft spoken, the most simple, we less know the fire that she carried within. Her silence was volcanic. Her tears were not weakness. They were prayers soaked in power. Even when she was in the Asoka Vatika, surrounded by the demons, she chanted Ram, Ram, Ram with such intensity that the very trees started weeping. The Tulsi Ramayana also tells of the birds refusing to chirp near her, lest they disturb her divine penance and her desire and her divine presence. Her energy kept Lanka from falling apart. Her pain kept Ravana from attaining peace. That is the power of Sita. That's the power of Tapaswini. She chose to go to the forest because dharma is not comfort, it is presence in discomfort. She was abducted not because she was weak, but because her being in Lanka was necessary to destroy Ravana from within. Her presence disturbed his spiritual fire, and his tapasya began to fail. She refused to return without a test of purity, not to prove herself, but to awaken the world to how easily the sacred feminine is doubted even by the purest. Then, if you go to the Tantra, towards a little bit towards Tantra, in Sri Vidya and other Tantric schools, Sita is defined as the Prithvi Tattva personified. Her grounding energy governs the Mooladhara Chakra. So, when we are talking about this, let us take a moment and close our eyes. Sit straight with your spine erect. If you are sitting on the ground, sit cross-legged in the Indian posture. If you are sitting on a chair, make sure you feel the tailbone touching the space where you are sitting. आप ऐसे बिल्कुल सीधा सटीक बैठे. और आपको आपका जो एंड ऑफ द स्पाइन है वो महसूस होना चाहिए धरती के साथ जुड़े हुए, या तो जिस चीज के ऊपर आप बैठे हो उसके साथ जुड़े हुए। Bring your entire focus at the tip of your spine, where it is touching the ground or the place that you are sitting. The entire focus should be in that place. Focus. There is nothing to be done, there is nothing to be doing. बिल्कुल शांत होके बस उस जगह का ध्यान करो. Keep your breath regular, keep your breath easy. बिल्कुल सरल सीधी सांस. But the focus should continue to be at the root of your spine. Just continue to focus. Now chant the first alphabet of Sita as C, as much as you can, and allow that vibration to vibrate through the body and go till the tip of the spine. C, 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 C. Now allow that vibration to slowly go, touch the base of the spine, and then bounce back into your entire body. Take some time, sit quietly, and allow that vibration to pop up and distribute itself into your entire body. Now do one thing. Once that vibration is felt, now we will add two things to that. And now we will chant Sita, 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 Ram. Now we will only take the name of Ram. So chat Ram, Ram, Ram. Now we can again open your eyes. As you might have noticed, I said that Sita has the Prithvi Tattva. Her grounding energy governs the Mooladhara Chakra. In this moment, if you just open and experience your own body, you will actually feel that as if something has actually gone down and now you are completely grounded. How many of you feel like that is energy or a flow of wave kind of energy that flowing from up and it goes down towards where you're sitting? Are you experiencing that? So जब भी आपका मन विचलित हो, ठीक है, whenever you are not able to sit for any puja, you are not able to do your job, you are not able to do the mantra, क्या कर सकते हो? कितना टाइम लगा? 3-4 मिनट ही लगेंगे. Just sit down, close your eyes, only start the first word, see, and then do it for some time. Then do the chanting for Sita, Ram, and again experience the wave, and then finally with Ram. Easy hai karna, can do that. She is actually again mentioned in some text as the Kundalini Shakti that lies dormant but can destroy illusion when awakened. Tantric text like the Rudra Yamala Tantra speaks of a form of Sita as Sita Sundari, who resides in the Bindu of Sri Chakra. She is the yantra, she is the mantra, and she is the tantra of cosmic order. The real Sita, as we all know, never went to Lanka. From the Adbhuta Ramayana and Brahmanda Purana comes the tale of Chaya Sita or Maya Sita. And we all know, like, even in the TV serials, it was shown, like, before even Ravana took her, she was already in the form of Maya, just as a replica of her. As Agni, they protected the real Sita and replaced her with an illusion. And this explains why Sita could remain untouched in Ravana's place. When Sita returned, she merged with the fire and re-emerged actually, cleansed, affirmed, divine. And this is the Agni Jnana Tantra in symbolism. Because in Tantra, there is one process called as the Agnisara process. And that can be done through the Agni Jnana Tattva. और द अग्नि ज्ञान तंत्र। जब आप अग्नि ज्ञान तंत्र पढ़ते हो और उसकी साधना करते हो तो उसमें भी वही कहा जाता है कि यू हैव टू गो थ्रू द अग्निसार और अग्नि स्नान। That is how you enter into fire, you sit there, you get purified and again come back. So that is also a symbolism that is present. And when Sita was in Lanka, even as Maya Sita, her vibrations actually altered Lanka. The Siva Samhita describes how trees around her would bloom out of season and demons would even experience nightmares. Ravana would stammer, who knows Vedas, he stammers before Sita because it was the Shakti's retaliation, which was unseen ever. Even as a shadow, she was the storm. Now, the pain that she endured, the pain did not break her, it became her penance. So, when we go through the pain of life, it can be considered as the pain that we are going through. It can be considered as the fire that Sati was burned. We can consider that our life is just like that fire when the purification is happening, or you can take that fire as the penance itself. And that's where, when Sita passes through all the stages of fire, it also reminds us that tapas and tapasya is something that should be done to purify our own selves. But was she impure? Or rather, she walked through fire so that the fire regains its purity, is a question that I should be asking. She does not cry. She never cried for herself. She only wanted that the truth should be upheld. And that's why I wrote one sentence like, when Lakshmi prays, even fate pauses. Let's look at our own lives for a moment. Just think of all the places where you went through that fire. You were humiliated. You were tested. And then some would smile and say, but that's a daily task for me. Even though if you have gone through all that, for you, just remember, Agni Pariksha was not a humiliation. It was a recalling. It was a reminder. Because as per the Rig Veda, Agni is both the purifier and the witness as well. So when you are going through that fire, you are burning through that fire, or that fire becomes the witness of your penance, is something that you should look at. Because the day you see it in this way, that the fire that I am burning every single day is not the fire that is burning me, but it is the fire that is witnessing my sadhana. आपको याद है कि जब भी हम कोई प्रथा, कोई पूजा, कोई पाठ शुरू करते हैं, हम कहते हैं कि you should first light up a diya, which is called as the diya, that would be witnessing your sadhana. So can you see in your life, the fire that we are all going through, that you go through, is actually the fire of witness. Even if your past karmic deeds, even if your past karmic deeds have brought these things to you, yet that fire is a reminder, yet that fire is the witness that you have burned down all your past karmas. And now, whatever you are going through, whatever you are doing, all the sadhana that you do as this moment is also witnessed by the same fire. So at times when this fire shows up in our lives, might be every single day, might be now and then. व्हाट शुड बी योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग? वो कहते हैं ना कि ज्ञान वो नहीं जो दूसरों से अर्जित हो, ज्ञान वो है जो आपके अंदर से प्रकट होता है. So this fire that we see outside, the pain that you go through, all the tests, all the questions that burn down in your brains, आपके कितने सारे चिंताएं आती हैं, right? सब कुछ समझने के बाद, सब कुछ जानने के बाद भी चिंताएं आपकी साथ नहीं छोड़. अब से क्या करना जानते हैं? उन चिंताओं से जलना मत. जस्ट देखना that this element of fire that I is burning me within in my thoughts, is it really burning it, or it is just the witness of what I am becoming? It's not what I'm going through, it's what I am becoming. मैं क्या बन रही हूं ये साधना से, ये संसार में रहते हुए क्या सीख रही हूं. That is the witness, that fire, that Sita was that. Because Sita knew that passing through fire was a transcendence. It was kind of a alchemical process of providing the sacred cannot be scorched. Means जो दिव्यता है उसे जलाया नहीं जा सकता, जो दिव्यता है उसे मिटाया नहीं जा सकता, जो दिव्यता है उसको छुपाया नहीं जा सकता. उसी तरीके से मैं तो ये कहता हूं कि आपके अंदर भी जो दिव्यता है, आपके अंदर की जो सुंदरता है, आपके अंदर की जो सत्यता है, वो भी कभी छिप नहीं पाएगा. एंड बिकॉज दैट्स व्हाट सीता डिड. एंड देन वी ऑल नो, लाइक सीता को दोबारा, once they returned back to Ayodhya, then they were there, and then धोबी की कथा सुन के सीता को पुनः भेज दिया जाता है जंगल में. There is a beautiful narration of a story when Sita goes to the forest again, and by looking at her, the other people, other ladies, those who lived there, they started complaining that what kind of king is Ram that has sent you again into the forest. आपको पुनः जंगल में भेज दिया. And then Sita closes her ears and says, don't tell me, I don't want to hear all this. Because राम एक राजा का धर्म निभा रहे. And then those ladies said, राजा का धर्म तो निभा लिया, पति का धर्म भूल गए. And then Sita again says, why do you say so? न जब राम वनवास गए आप उनके साथ गए, लेकिन जब आप वनवास आए तब राम साथ नहीं आए. Why is it so? तो धर्म तो कर निभा लिए, लेकिन पति धर्म नहीं निभा पाए. तो सीता कहती है कि who says Ram is not with me in exile? कौन कहता है कि राम राज्य चला रहे हैं और वो वनवास में नहीं है? क्योंकि जहां सीता का वास होता है वहीं राम का वास होता है. और अगर सीता वनवास में है तो राम भी वनवास में है, क्योंकि सीता के मन में सिर्फ और सिर्फ राम बसते हैं. तब भी वो लोग मानने को तैयार नहीं थे कि आपकी बातें सुनने को तो अच्छी लगती है, लेकिन हमेशा से ये रहा है कि दुख आपको सहना पड़ा है. एंड देन शी सेज, जिसे आप दुख समझते हो मैं उसे धर्म समझती. कि वो अपना धर्म निभा रहा है, मैं अपना धर्म निभा रही हूं, क्योंकि हम दोनों यहाँ आए हैं धर्म की प्रतिष्ठा करने. एंड देन when these females reach out to Valmiki also to ask, ये कैसा रामायण लिखा आप कि जिसमें सीता दो दो बार वनवास जाती है और राम सिर्फ एक बार। तो वाल्मीकि जी कहते हैं कि बात तो सही है, इफ यू लुक इन दैट वे, दैट सीता हैज टू गो टू एग्जाइल ट्वाइस, बट इसी से ये पता चलता है और ये तय होता है कि राम भले ही एक बार तकलीफ सहे हो, सीता दो बार तकलीफ सही है, इसलिए सीता का नाम हमेशा राम के नाम से पहले रहेगा। एंड दैट्स व्हाई यू कॉल इट एज सीताराम 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 सीताराम। बट व्हाट डज दैट इंडिकेट? क्या समझ आता है इससे? क्या यही समझना चाहिए कि जिसने ज्यादा काम किया उसका नाम आगे आना चाहिए? ना, मुझे तो ये लगता है the one who has sacrificed himself or herself for the upliftment of the world in the most simplest way, in the silent form, their name will always be kept in front of the divine. तो जब कभी भी जो कोई भी भक्त हुआ है, जब कभी भी जो कोई भी भक्ति के मार्ग में चला है, धर्म के मार्ग में चला है, वो देखना, प्रश्न ये हमेशा आता है कि भगवान बड़ा या भक्त। तो कहते हैं ना कि भक्त बड़ा या भगवान, तो आपके हिसाब से क्या है? क्योंकि भक्त के हिसाब से भगवान बड़ा होता है और भगवान के हिसाब से भक्त। सो दिस कॉम्बिनेशन दैट गोज, हम तो सिर्फ एक अद्वैत के मार्ग में देख के हम ये सोचते हैं कि वो बड़ा है, ये छोटा है। राम एक बार वनवास गए, सीता दो बार वनवास गई। बट व्हेन वी लुक एट दिस, would it have been easy for Ram to stay away from Sita? क्योंकि अगर सीता के मन में राम बसा है तो राम के मन में सीता। एंड यू ऑल रिमेम्बर दैट वन स्टोरी दैट आई टोल्ड, कि सीता जो रो रही थी राम के बारे में सोच के जब वो लंका में थी, और त्रिजटा कहती है कि क्यों रो रही हो सीता? तो उन्होंने क्या कहा कि मैंने भृंगी की कहानी सुनी है, और वो शब्द से जो कीड़ा होता है वो उसके जैसा परिणित हो जाता है। मैं ये सोच रही हूँ, मैं तो दिन रात राम 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 कहती हूँ, अगर मैं राम बन गई तो क्या होगा? तो त्रिजटा हंसती है और क्या कहती है कि अगर तू यहाँ राम 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 कहती है तो वो तो भी वहां सीता 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 कहता होगा। अच्छी बात है कि तू राम राम कहते कहते तू राम बन जाए, और सीता सीता कहते हुए वो सीता बन जाए। क्या दुविधा कैसी? सो दिस इज हाउ दैट लव स्टोरी बिकम्स, दैट्स हाउ द लव स्टोरी गोज ऑन। दैट्स व्हाई आई से कि हो जाए तो कुछ ऐसा कि मैं उसका नाम लेते लेते वो बन जाऊं, और एक बार के लिए वो मैं बन जाए। एंड देन there will never be a separation ever again. And I believe like that's what Sita teaches us in her silent ways, in her silent form, in the most amazing ways, never speaking, but living it. Because dignity was her divinity. And when she gave birth to even Love and Kusha, she did not teach her sons revenge. She taught them dharma. Love and Kush learned the Gayatri Mantra, the martial arts, and the Ramayana from sage Valmiki. And when the Adhyatma Ramayana speaks of how the voice of Love and Kush echoed with the inner fire of Sita when they sang. Because Sita raised lions in a hut with the heart of a lioness. कि ऐसे पाली उन लोगों को, मानो जैसे एक सिंह को पाला जाता है एक छोटे से घर में, और स्वयं एक शक्तिशाली सिंह ही बन गए. And we all know, like when she met Ram again, when Lava and Kusha sang the Ramayana in Ram's court, the Yug Purush, Ram, broke into tears because he could see Sita in every verse that was sung by Lava and Kusha. Ram, who had conquered Ravana, could not conquer the grief of Sita's songs because she had sung without voice, and yet the entire universe heard her singing. And then, when Sita was brought and she was standing, and then she said, like, enough for me now, and let me go back from where I came from. And she called upon Bhudevi, "O mother, if I have been true in mind, the word, and in my soul, let me go into your embrace." And that's where we all know that the earth opened, not in death, but in reunion. Bhumi Pravesham means entering into the Dhara was not an escape for Sita, but it was like coming back to her home. And it was, for some people, they say, like, so it was a suicide. No, it was an ascension. Sita's departure was not a tragic accident, it was transcendence beyond this earth. Because she entered the earth to remind us, when the world does not honor truth, truth returns to the source. She was too divine to remain in a world that doubted the divinity. Now, I would like to emphasize back on what I said in the past two lines. When the world does not honor truth, truth returns to the source. इसका मतलब क्या होता है? How does the world treats you? संसार आपके साथ कैसा व्यवहार करता है? At times, the family members don't treat you right. At times, the neighbors don't treat you right. And at times, the world does not treat you right. But what did I said in that one sentence? When the world does not honor truth, truth returns to the source. मतलब ये कि अगर आपको संसार समझ नहीं पाया, if the world is not able to understand you, समझ नहीं पाया आप, तो आपको क्या करना चाहिए? The truth should return back to the source. मतलब आप अपने सत्यता को जानते हुए आप अपने घर के तरफ बढ़ जाना चाहिए. Because this world is something that you try to change, but it has its own nature. It keeps on coming back again and again with maya, with alluring, with some or other thing that will always pop up, and you will be lost in that. But as I said, just remember, don't get humiliated with what the world is saying or doing to you. Just do this thing. If the world is not honoring your truth, you should return back to your source. She was too divine to remain in a world that doubted the divine. Sita was too divine to remain in a world that doubted the divine. कई बार आप अपने साधनाएं जब करते हैं, कई बार आप अपना मंत्र जाप जो करते हो, कई बार आपके ऊपर हास्य किए गए हैं. Many people have commented upon you, many people have mocked upon you. See, क्या कर रहे हो? What's all this? And when all these things come, bring a smile on your face. Even if you cannot on your face, at least smile within yourself, because you are doing something right. आप कुछ सही कर रहे हो जिसके वजह से जो उस सत्यता को नहीं जानते वो गलत दिख रहा है. But deep down within, what do you believe? Are you doing it right or not? So अपना रास्ता मत छोड़ना. Don't leave this path of dharma. And remember, if this truth is not honored, the truth will return back to the source. Now, Sita has whispered not just in the yuga she was here in. Her message is like a clear-cut message to every woman, because she whispers to time and says, forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace within you. Speak, not to prove, but to declare. Walk away, not in anger, but in truth. You are Sita. You are Shakti. You are the sacred. And why we must remember Sita? We should not remember Sita for the fire that she went through, but for the fire she was. We should not remember Sita for her exile, but for how she carried a kingdom in her silence. Sita is remembrance. Sita is resolution. Sita is Rahasya Shakti. Now, a lot can be spoken about the Rahasya Shakti itself, but might be the talk of some other day. If you look at like the roles that Sita played in Ramayana, we all know that the Prakriti and Purusha, they both come together to create Leela. In a similar way, in Ramayana, Ram is the Purusha Shakti and Sita is the Prakriti. And they together enact the dance of Leela. Because the Ramayana is not a tale of a war. It is a metaphysical journey of the soul back to its source. In this journey, Sita is the self. The sacred that must pass through illusion, pain, purification to reunite with its divine nature. That was the journey of Sita. The most mysterious aspect was the Sita's return to the earth. Because when Sita entered or returned back to the earth, she wasn't escaping. She was actually ascending. The earth, her mother, opened up to receive her. It wasn't a punishment. It was the return of Shakti to her origin. She had planted dharma, endured adharma, and now chose to withdraw. Only a Devi can decide her time of departure, not in death, but in transcendence. Her pain, or the divine wound that she carried. Sita's deepest pain was not exile, was not abduction, nor the Agni Pariksha. Her biggest pain was it was being misunderstood by the very world she was protecting. वो जिसे बचाने की कोशिश कर रही थी वो ही उसे समझ नहीं पाई. Even Ram, Vishnu himself, had to play the Leela of doubt because in the path of Dharma, trust must be acted even if love suffers. Her pain was the pain of every woman ever doubted, shamed, or silenced. But she bore it with a smile. And that's why it is not just simple submission, but it was the supreme strength of Sita that was running within her. And that was strength. Again, in the Tantric traditions, Sita is revered as Mahavidya Bhuvaneshwari, the queen of this universe. Tripura Sundari, the supreme beauty of all realm, a goddess who holds Yoni Tantra of regeneration. For Sita, it is the earth womb. She creates, nurtures, as well as destroys. She is both desire and renunciation, pleasure and pain, form and formless. And because of this statement, I just want you to remind. I just want you to remind that you can have a life here which a desired life can be lived. But when you are living here, learn from Sita that despite staying here, you should be absolutely free from everything. Because the divinity cannot just be one. I cannot say the divine is only the pleasure, but not the pain. But for us, we know that it is both. Sita realized that she was not here for herself. She knew something. She knew that I am not the wife, I am the world. I am not the tested, I am the fire itself. I am not wronged, I am the remover of wrong. Her clarity was not in words, but in acts of silence. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Just close your eyes for a moment. While your eyes closed, just try to visualize the image of Ram and Sita together. Sita, Sita. Just sit there silently and just allow that flame of Sita within you. The chant should be going either Sita or Sita. And now, while keeping your eyes closed, let me read out something to you and you listen to this while sitting with your eyes closed. Listen to my words because this is a message from Sita. O world, you worship me in temples, but when I stood strong, you called me weak. You doubted my fire when I was the flame itself. Remember, my power is not breaking rules, but in enduring with the strength that shakes empire silent. Let us experience that Sita has actually never left us, but rather she became us. Today, she lives. She lives on in all of us. She walks in every daughter who refuses to go, in every mother who builds dharma through love, in every woman who chooses peace over power and still becomes powerful. Whenever there is endurance with grace, there is Sita. Know that Sita is speaking again. Jai Sita, Jai Shakti, Jai Bhudevi. Let every child know that she has not left. She rose and let every seeker chant a mantra that we are going to do right now for the next few minutes. Now close your eyes again, sit straight. Now you will chant along with me. Om Sri Sitaye Namaha. Om Sri Sitaye Namaha. Om Sri Sitaye Namaha. Om Sri Sitaye Namaha. Now let me chant the complete mantra. Om Sri Sitaye Namaha. Om Bhumataye Namaha. Om Kartikeyaye Namaha. Om Sri Sitaye Namaha. Om Bhu Mata Namaha. Om Agni Parikshitaye Namaha. 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 Jai Jai Bajrangabali. Because these words would have come from his mouth. Om Sri Sitaye Namaha. Om Bhumataye Namaha. Om Agni Parikshitaye Namaha. Now chant along with me. Om Sri Sitaye Namaha. Om Bhumataye Namaha. Om Agni Parikshitaye Namaha. Om Sitaye Namaha. Om Bhumataye Namaha. Om Agni Parikshaye Namaha. Om Sri Sitaye Namaha. Om Bhumataye Namaha. Om Agni Parikshitaye Namaha. Om Shri Sitaye Namaha. Om Rupamataye Namaha. Om Shri Om Agni Parikshitaye Namaha. One more time. Om Shri Sitaye Namaha. Om Ryatak. Om Bhumataye Namaha. Om Agni Parikshitaye Namaha. Go deeper and deeper with that mantra. Take a deep breath. Slowly exhale, but go further deeper and deeper within yourself, as if the name of Sita is pulling you down towards the grounding. All the negative thoughts, all the negative charge that your body has been going through, may that all transcend and go. Now just chant Om along with that. Take a deep breath again. Take a deep breath again. Exhale slowly through your mouth. One more deep breath. Exhale slowly. One more time. The final deep breath, recalling Sita within you. And bowing down to her within yourself. Now you can open your eyes. And if you did not understood anything today, that was the entire plan. Because I said, in order to understand Sita, you have to first become that. This was designed in such a way that the plowing has to done, because you go back and you think आज हुआ क्या. Then I will speak of Sita. It should not just be spoken to the barren lands of spaces where the seeds won't grow. ये तो सिंचाई थी, जो सुधा जी हमेशा कहते हैं ना, बोले ये सिंचाई थी. आपको समझ में आया ना. राजा जनक को सीता कहाँ मिली. Now you have become the ground. I will use the plow, and then Sita will appear from you. And if you ask me, was this a session? No, it was not. I was just playing around with you. It's as simple as that. कुछ भी समझो उसे. But that's my way. जैसे वो खेती करने से पहले वो हल को लेके घुमाता है ना चारों तरफ. It was just same thing. But come prepared next time. Because then you will listen about Sita, which you have not heard of. नहीं तो ऐसी सीता की गाथा सुन के आभा जी की तबीयत खराब हो गई. But that's what I say. Trust the process. Don't judge the process. Because all that we did today will make all the sense when I speak about in truth. समझ में आया. क्या आप कभी भी अपना घर को ऐसे सजा लेते हो जहां पे कूड़ा करकट जमा है और वो कॉबवेब्स लगे हुए हैं, उसके ऊपर आप सजा देते हो सब कुछ घर को अपना. नहीं ना. क्या करते हो. पहले झाड़ू लगाओ, साफ करो, उसके बाद सजाते हो. सो सीता के बारे में भी बहुत सारे कॉबवेब्स हैं लोगों में. हम बोले ठीक है, पहले दिखाते तो हो कि आपको क्या पता है. जब वो दिखेगा तब जाके साफ होगा. जब साफ होगा तब सीता की कथा आएगी. और उस दिन सीता की कथा खुद सीता बोलेगी, कोई और नहीं बोलेगा. Might be you hear the voice, but the words, the feelings, the expressions, you cannot deny that it was not her. Is it fine? नहीं तो अगर मैं कहता यही सीता है तो गया था सब कुछ. सेकेंड थिंग, ब्रेकिंग एक्सपेक्टेशंस. आपने एक स्टैंडर्ड बना रखा है कि अगर ये कहेंगे तो कुछ. Until your expectation breaks, how will you see the truth? Because you will always try to see the truth through the eyes of your expectations. So this was one blow. And then the third and the final thing, who stays back? क्योंकि टॉपिक का नाम फिर वही लेके आऊंगा. But let me see who stays to listen. whether you like my way or not, this is my way. So are you ready for the next? Are you ready to hear what Sita has to say, not what the world has to say, not what the Puranas have to speak, not what has been told? It is as if Sita speaking her own story. वो कहते हैं ना कि क्या कहते हैं, अलीबाजी लाइक autobiography, right? Not a biography, but an autobiography. All the biographies have been written. Let's try to bring out an autobiography. That will need a preparation. Will you do that? The preparation would be very simple. आप इसको कई तरीके से कर चुके हो, मैं आपको और एक तरीका बताना चाहता हूं. Until I speak of Sita again, every single day, whenever you have time, whenever you get some space, just sit and try to bring out that Sita from within you. कैसे लेके आओगे? Start a conversation. And don't worry, the conversation will happen for you. अब करके देखो, वो होगा. One would be the logical mind, जो प्रश्न आपके अंदर है, मतलब सीता के बारे में जानना हो. वो अच्छे भी हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि तर्क हमेशा बुरे तर्क नहीं होते, अच्छे तर्क भी हो सकते हैं. So all the thoughts that you have about Sita, whenever you have time, you sit and ask that question. Allow that question to go within you, and then listen to the answer that comes out of from you. Do that. Write it down. ठीक है? हमको सबको याद है ना, बचपन में जो करते थे, जब लिख लेते थे तो भूलते नहीं थे इतने आसानी से. So ask the question, whatever the answer. Don't sit there thinking logically, ये आंसर ऐसे कैसे आ सकता है. No, that's not your work. Let us write it down. Then I will not ask you to read it, but I will ask you to share it with me. Then I will compile all that has come from within you. पहली बार एक ऐसा सत्संग होगा जो आप करोगे. I will speak on behalf of you, but let that Sita appear first within you. जहां सही है वो सही रखेंगे, अगर गलत है तो मैं बता दूंगा ये गलत है. And more than that, I will do the same and bring it up for you. Now that's a conversation happening. Or else it's just like I come, I speak, you listen, you go. ये पहली बार ऐसा होगा शायद. Have you ever heard in this way? But this is going to be the way. And there is a small star mark. उषा जी को बड़ा पसंद है, बोलते कि हमेशा एक छोटा सा स्टार मार्क लगा के रखना है. कंडीशंस अप्लाई. कंडीशंस क्या अप्लाई होता है? जब तक आप शेयर नहीं करोगे, तब तक मैं सीता के बारे में बात नहीं करूंगा. अब होगी तैयारी. ओके, चल यही पूछ ही लेते. लाइक लेट मी आस्क अप फ्रंट, हु ऑल आर गोइंग टू डू दिस? कौन कौन ये सब करने वाले हो, और कौन कौन शेयर करने वाले हो? यहाँ पे मैसेज में मार दो, आई विल डू इट. सिर्फ कमेंट में टाइप कर दो, क्योंकि सारे हाथ मुझे दिखाई नहीं दे रहे. सो कम से कम मेरे पास एक रिटर्न प्रूफ रहे Then I will ask Haribhai to create a Excel sheet and tick who all have sent their. वेरी गुड. अदिति जी का आ गया, सौम्या जी का आ गया. आभा जी का भी आ गया, अलीवा जी का आ गया. 5 ही लोग हैं. अच्छा, खुशी जी का आ गया, राजेश जी का भी आ गया. वेरी गुड. कल्याणी जी का आ गया. सुधा जी का आ गया. बाकी सब किधर गए? सुमा जी का भी आ गया. इतने ही? हरि भाई नहीं लिखे अभी तक. फाइनली आई हैव दीज नेम्स. Now tell me, why didn't you choose to write? I'm asking all others. Are you fearful that you will not get an answer? You are fearful you will write something wrong, or you think that you don't have the conversation within you. See, this is what is keeping you away from the experience of the divine. जैसे क्लास वर्क होता है ना, एक होमवर्क होता है, ये होमवर्क है. And practically, right, theoretically you can listen so many things, but when you practically get involved into that, that will bring out so many beautiful things that is hidden within you. आप ढूंढोगे नहीं तो पाओगे कैसे? Until you seek, you won't find it. इतने बार इतने बाहर के जगह से ढूंढ लिया ना, इतना ज्ञान अर्जन हो गया ना, अब एक बार अंदर डूबो. वो सारा ज्ञान है आपके अंदर. I am confident on you. I don't know why you are not confident on your own self. So Hari Bhai has also said he will do that. Saujanya ji has also said she will do that. Now let me ask with names itself why they have not given the names. I understand that there are some people, those who don't understand my language, but somebody help them. Might be Sumati, you help them, and you also have to translate and give it to back, like what their way of understanding is that. Now here let me ask Rajni ji, have you said yes to that? Okay, Rajni ji, yes, sir. Preeti ji, I'm sure I'm not missed your name there. So will you do that? Yes, very good. So वहां पे टाइप कर दो. विद्या सुंदरी जी घूम रहे हैं, but she will not be left out. Aliva ji तो anyway she will write. Jayaprada ji will write. रत्ना जी, लक्ष्मी जी, all they will be helped by सुमा जी. Then आभा जी हाँ बोल दिए, सुधा जी हाँ बोल दिए. उषा जी आपका किधर गया? अच्छा अच्छा, ओके, ठीक है, आप लिख के भेज दीजिए. सरोजिनी जी ऑल्सो दैट विल बी डन. कल्याणी जी तो हाँ बोल दिए, सौजन्य जी हाँ बोल दिए, विद्या सुंदरी जी अभी तक हाँ नहीं बोले, बट शी हैज टू राइट एनीवेज. विनय लता जी हाँ. संध्या जी कैमरा ऑफ हो गया, बट विल कलेक्ट फ्रॉम हर एनीवेज. रश्मि जी आप किधर हैं? आपके पास से भी आना चाहिए. संतोष मिश्रा जी आपके पास से भी आना चाहिए. रानी जी आपके पास से भी आना चाहिए. खुशी जी कैसे भी हाँ बोल दिए हैं. एंड देर आर सो मेनी पीपल ऑन माई स्क्रीन. साई सत्या इज देयर, देन नवनीत जी इज देयर, पद्मावती जी इज देयर, lavanya ji is there, aruna ji is there, kartikeya is there, geeta ji is there. रवि कुमार जी इज देयर, संतोषी जी इज देयर, रेवती जी, अमर जी, जनेश जी, ये सारे लोग हैं। एंड डोंट थिंक इट वाज ओनली लिमिटेड टू द फीमेल्स। इसीलिए इससे पहले हमने एक एक बात कही थी कि अगर सीता को समझना है या तो राम बनना पड़ेगा या तो सीता। तो अगर आपको पुरुष होके अगर आपको लगता है कि आप सीता के बारे में समझ नहीं सकते तो राम बन के समझो, शायद कुछ अलग ही भाव लेके आओगे आप। यू विल ब्रिंग आउट समथिंग सो अमेजिंग आउट ऑफ दैट। अभी रिसेंटली मैंने एक कथा सुनी जो बांके बिहारी जी की थी। ये कहते हैं कि वहां पे एक उनके घर के पास एक राधा कृष्ण का मंदिर था, और वो जो संत थे वो कृष्ण को अपना पुत्र मानते थे। और पुत्र मानते थे तो उनको शिक्षा दीक्षा सब देते थे। ठीक, मतलब जैसे कोई अपने पुत्र को बड़ा करता है, खिलाना पिलाना, और साथ ही साथ उनको किताब भी पढ़ाते थे, ज्ञान भी देते थे, समझाते थे भी थे, और पूछते थे भी थे भी कान्हा समझ में आया क्या। तो बिल्कुल वो कृष्ण को अपना पुत्र मानते थे, और राधा को पुत्र वधु। तो जब भी मंदिर जाते पहले ही आवाज लगाते, पुरोहित जी मैं आ गया हूं। तो पुरोहित पूछते, आप आगे तो मैं क्या करूं। तो ये क्या करते, जैसे ही राधा के सामने जाते खुद ही पर्दा कर लेते और कृष्ण को देखते, राधा को कभी देखते ही नहीं। ये मान्यता है कि ससुर है तो वधु को ले, कन्या को कैसे देखे, ये मान्यता थी। तो उनको कभी राधा को देखते नहीं थे, तो हमेशा जाते थे और कृष्ण को देखते थे, और रोज का यही था। तो पंडित जो थे उनको समझ में आ गया कि अच्छा तो ये तो कृष्ण को पुत्र मानते हैं, शायद इस वजह से वो पुत्र वधु है, इसलिए पर्दा करने के लिए कहते हैं। तो मैं काम करूंगा, अब से जब वो आवाज लगाएंगे तो मैं पर्दा कर दूंगा। तो वो रोज आते, बाहर से ही चिल्लाते, पुरोहित जी मैं आ गया हूँ। और पुरोहित धीरे से क्या करते, आधा पर्दा कर देते ताकि राधा दिखे ना। वो कृष्ण को देखते और चले जाते। एक दिन की घटना है कि ये सुबह सुबह पहुंच गए, पुरोहित कहीं बाहर काम में लगे हुए हैं, और उन्होंने आवाज लगाई कि पुरोहित जी मैं आ गया हूं। और ये सोचे कि पर्दा हो गया होगा, और जैसे ही ये अंदर जाते हैं, और पुरोहित तो है नहीं पर्दा लगाने आज। अब ये कहते हैं कि राधा खुद उठ के पर्दा लगा देती है, और वो फिर दर्शन करके बाहर जाते हैं। और तभी पुरोहित आ जाता है, और पुरोहित कहता है कि अरे आज आपने खुद पर्दा कर दिया। तो ये कहते हैं मैंने तो पर्दा ही नहीं किया, मैं रोज की तरह आवाज लगा के आया कि पुरोहित जी मैं आ गया हूं, और मुझे लगा आप पर्दा किए होंगे। अब इस बात से इन दोनों को समझ में आ गया कि पर्दा किसने किया। तब से वो जो संत थे उन्होंने कहा, मेरे वजह से तेरे को तकलीफ होती है, तो आज से मैं अंदर ही नहीं आऊंगा, मैं बाहर से ही बोल के चला जाऊंगा। और रोज वो मंदिर के पास आते और कहते मैं आ गया हूं, और वहीं से चले जाते। देखो ये होता है प्रेम, ये होता है भाव, ये होती है भक्ति। मैं क्या कहता हूँ जानते हो, जो आपने अपने अंदर जो पर्दा डाल रखा है ना, उस पर्दे को हटाने के लिए मैं कह रहा हूँ। मैं भी बाहर से वही आवाज दे रहा हूँ, मैं आ गया हूँ। अब आप पर्दा हटाओ, यू हैव टू रिमूव दैट वेल। दैट वेल कैन ओनली बी रिमूव इफ यू आर विलिंग टू। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप में सामर्थ्य नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है कि आप सक्षम नहीं हो, ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके अंदर भाव नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके अंदर जिज्ञासा नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है कि आप उसको जानना चाहते हो। आपके अंदर ये सारे गुण हैं, इसलिए आप ये सब सुनते हो। परंतु कभी कभी कुछ कार्य करने पड़ते हैं, एंड दैट्स वेयर आई कम। और जरूरत पड़ा तो धक्का भी मारो, आई पुश यू, बिकॉज होता है ना अमर जी, कुछ बातों के और कुछ हाँ, वो सब 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 अपने अंदर चला गया, मतलब जैसे ही एक शब्द बोलते सबके अंदर, मतलब प्रफुल्लित मन से सब कहते हैं कि हाँ हाँ हम वही हैं। तो अगर आप वही हो तो हम भी वही हैं। तो जिस तरीके से आपको समझ में आए, जिस तरीके से आपको मार्ग मिले, because all that we want to do here is not just sit and get entertained or just listen to it. We all have to walk through. क्यों जानते हो? There is a statement: when the world does not care for the truth will return back to its space. Do you want to stay here without realizing that truth? Now, that was my motivation that I spoke of. हमेशा हरि भाई कहते हैं, you are good at motivating people. I say, so this was the motivation from my side. So let's see if the motivation works. And then what we will do is, जिन जिन का लिखावट आएगा ना मेरे पास, I will do a particular session, and in that group only those people will be allowed and we will speak. अब ये हो गया। वो तो पहले तो बात था, अब लात आ गया। पासवर्ड सिक्योर्ड ग्रुप, उसमें यही सत्संग हुआ। जिन जिन लोगों ने अपनी कथा और अपनी व्यथा सुनाई है उसमें, एंड it should not be one line, it should not be one question, it should be a series at least of few questions and few answers. गलती से डर लगता है तो सीख नहीं पाओगे। Who knows that she wants to speak through you? कैसे पता आप? If you don't allow it. Okay, so how was the play today? Boring, sleepy, dull, it's your way. पहले नींद में जाओगे तभी तो जागोगे, तो नींद में गए, अब जागो। So you can do one thing, you can keep a record of all the discussions that you have within yourself and send it at one go. Because अगर एक एक भेजोगे तो compilation में problem हो जाएगी. So keep a write up. I will give you a date. Keep post it on this day, and you don't have to post it in the group. You can post it to me directly. I will take that, compile it, and bring out the best of it. And all of you will be so mesmerized by the way it will come out. आप बोलोगे ऐसे ही सत्संग होनी चाहिए. And that's how I prepare, and the beginning of the masters begins. है ना? आपने मेरे जन्मदिन के ऊपर आपने कुछ कहा कि we promise that this is what we are going to do. And that day I thought that now this is my time to create the masters, not just the ones who listen to me. अगर आप कुछ कर सकते हो, मैं नहीं कर सकता। आप प्रण ले सकते हो, मैं नहीं ले सकता। तो देखते हैं क्या बनते हो आप। Now a new journey begins with this. Welcome to the new path. But ultimately, I will never leave saying one word. Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. So Hari bhai, take over. Now I feel so amazed that this time I'll be seeing so many different forms of what way Sita has to appear. और हाँ आबादी आपके तरफ से और सुधा जी आप लोगों के तरफ से, अगर दो चार पंक्तियां भी बन जाएं ताकि सत्संग संपूर्ण लगे। हाँ, ठीक। सो हरि भाई, ओवर टू यू।
माना जी, यू नीड टू क्लोज द मीटिंग मैनेजर। मैं
ओके
डॉग को नीचे लेके आया था, थोड़ा
ओके
इमरजेंसी था।
ओके ओके, डन डन डन।
हाँ।
सो हरि भाई, आज अभी से ही मौका देना चाहते हैं that this should begin in that way, and who wants to sing a song now? So Saroja garu, we have chosen you. Ah, she's not able to unmute, I think. Okay. So Saroja garu has to record and send it. अभी जो अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं उनको ही बुला लेते हैं।
गुरु जी, आज आवाज काम नहीं कर रही है, गला खराब है।
देखो, हम सुनने के रसिक हैं, आवाज के नहीं। हम नाम के रसिक हैं, आवाज के नहीं। तो नाम किसी भी रूप में आए।
तो क्या सिया राम जी का जाप बोल रहे हैं या
जी,
कुछ अलग से सुना
कुछ
है?
भी,
आप जो बताएं वैसे बोल।
जैसे आपकी मर्जी।
भजन तो नहीं बोला जाएगा इस वक्त में, गला थोड़ा ज्यादा खराब है, तो मैं सिया राम जी का नाम जाप बोल रही हूँ।
हम तो चाहते हैं कि उनका नाम लेके आपका गला ठीक हो जाए।
एक ही अंतरा बोलती हूँ फिर मैं,
बिल्कुल।
एक ही अंतरा। सुनो सुनाते हैं हम तुमको एक दुख भरी कहानी। सुनो सुनाते हैं हम तुमको एक दुख भरी कहानी। राम को जब वनवास मिला, सीता ने साथ न छोड़ा। सीता चली अकेली वन में, राम ने नाता तोड़ा। सुनो सुनाते हैं हम तुमको एक दुख भरी कहानी। सुनो सुनाते हैं हम तुमको दुख भरी कहानी। जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय जय सिया राम। जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय जय सिया राम। जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय जय सिया राम। जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय जय सिया राम। बोलिए सियापति रामचंद्र की जय।
जय
उमापत महादेव की
की
जय।
जय।
पवन सुत हनुमान
हनुमान
की
की